It's interesting after working with thousands of people over the years on taking them from a very unhealthy place to a place of health, I've learned two things that are very consistent to every healing journey. One, we have to stop looking at health as a noun. It is not a place you're going to. It is a verb. It is an action you're going to be doing. And then the second thing is you will get stuck. You are just set yourself up now. You're going to have some periods of momentum. You're going to have some periods where all of a sudden you feel like you've completely lost momentum. So go into your health journey already knowing that. Now, my question to you is when we hit that snag, when we hit that stuck, like all the things we're doing seem to be working and then one day they're not working and we're not moving forward. And then we start to blame the doctor, we blame the medication, we blame the diet, we start looking outward. What tools do we have? What can we do in that moment? I would call that stuck to be able to move beyond it, because my experience has been, and I've said this to so many patients, like hang in there, because on the other side of this is something really, really cool. What tools do we have in that moment?
So the first thing is, are you stuck or are you tired? Because we think that we should be maintaining these steady state levels of energy. And I'll speak as a woman who menstruates. My cycle is going to come with fluctuations in mood, fluctuations in appetite. Like my husband knows I have a pink candle that I light when I'm luteal. So he knows I will cry at everything. So if there's something pressing, perhaps wait 5 to 6 days and then I'll be less irrational. And so learning to not fight the cycles, but lean into them, because we're supposed to have cycles of up and cycles of down. Our central nervous systems are designed with a gas pedal to go and with a brake pedal to stop and with an emergency brake to do hard stop if necessary. But if we treat ourselves as if we're supposed to nail it and hit the goals and keep it at a steady state of rah, rah, we're going to fail, because that's not the reality of the human brain. I don't understand why we're designed this way, but it's not like I didn't design the brain. Like take that up with whoever did. But we are designed to be cyclical. And often what we call stuckness is just the part of the cycle where we need to rest and slow down and attend to slow. And that's just not sexy or fun or Instagrammable. So we value
Well said. Well said. And you and I didn't chat a ton before we just launched into the podcast, but that's my passion. My book that's coming out is Fast Like a Girl, is all about when to lean into fasting, when to not, when to lean into keto, when to not, like that ebb and flow. And I will tell you as a 53-year-old woman that the more I've understood my hormones, the more I've given myself permission to feel the whole spectrum, because my hormones demand it. If you look at estrogen wants you to verbally process. Estrogen wants you, to go out and mix a little estrogen with testosterone. And estrogen wants those two together are going to be like, let's go conquer the world. And progesterone, when she comes in, is like, hey guys, let's just chill out on the couch.
I used to hate having a period. And we are taught, if you identify as a menstruating human, we're taught that this is a terrible thing that's happening to you. And I have a lot of compassion on people for whom the luteal phase is brutal, or the, whatever phase is uncomfortable and painful. But we're not taught that if you lean into, I don't enjoy, and I'm actually luteal right now. So we're going to get off this call and I'm going to ruminate on how I said things wrong. And then I'm going to cry. And I used to beat myself up for that. But again, there's so much beauty and power and wisdom into listening to the cyclical needs of our body. In my experience, when I fight the cycle parts of myself, they win anyway. So why not make peace instead of being at war with our own cyclical nature? And again, you don't have to be a menstruator to relate to this. There are cycles where you have more energy. It's just, I don't know when this is going to air, but right now, as we're talking, it's December. The December month is not the time to try to launch a business or like jumpstart your efforts, because we're all juggling demands of the holiday season and everyone's fatigued, burnt out, and exhausted. So we want to work with our cycle and enjoy it and light a candle when you're a little off.
This is like my whole thing. Like, I really believe if you're a menstruating woman and like the week before your period comes, just freaking enjoy it. Give yourself that chance to sit on the couch and not be a human doer. Just enjoy the fact that progesterone needs cortisol down. It needs glucose high. So your cravings for carbs are warranted. Your desire to say no to everything, your aversion to people around you. Like, this is all about who you are as a woman. This is absolutely natural. And there's something kind of like cool about it. Have you been watching the new Netflix series Wednesday?
I binge watched that. Like I'm so depressed that it's over. I watched that in 2 days. Yes.
What I love about it is there's a Wednesday in all of us, and she shows up about a week before our period, and she just wants to be like, tell everybody to just back away. And yet we try to be like her roommate, you know, the little cat gal, and we try to be like all poly, but that woman, I forget her name. She shows up at the first part of your cycle. She's not necessarily showing up at the end of your cycle. So I love that you saw that show as well and saw it that way as well.
It's so important. And again, you know, when I'm ovulating, I am Wonder Woman. Like I will grind an 18-hour day. I will run a marathon. I will build my business and yours while holding space, and I'll shower and floss. But right. Like, you know, the things that we ignore when we're energized tend to show up during that luteal phase. And I know this wasn't really a talk about this, but you know,
I know we're just going here.
Yes, is one of my favorite things to work with people on, because it's, again, I don't like cramps. I don't like feeling depressed. I don't like feeling like the whole world is over and I have no place, like the existential blackness of it all. But you know, anything that I'm not dealing with, any pain, and again, yes, I'm not a physician. There is a physiological component to this whole game. So I'm not suggesting just lean into your shadow side and you won't have cramps. I'm not saying that. So I don't want to get any DMs saying that I said that. And, you know, from the psychological side, any pain points that you're not attending to when you have high levels of energy in your cycle will demand your attention when you're not. And when we medicate away the symptoms in an effort to stay steady state, we don't listen to the wisdom. Like there are things I'm sad about that I don't want to be sad about. And when I'm ovulating, I don't bother being sad about. But right now, I'm going to be sad about them.